guys, so before I get into this video, I have an exciting announcement to share with you all. I have been invited to be a special guest for an anime convention here on Guam called EpicsCon, which will be happening on Saturday, July 7th and Sunday, July 8th at the Aganya Shopping Center. I'll be hosting a trivia game, an anime Name That Tune, as well as a panel talking about being a YouTuber, how to get started on YouTube, and how anime has impacted my life and has impacted the lives of many other people. We'll also have a very special cosplayer coming in called Pyeong Kim, so if you'd like to check her out, do stop by. So if you're a fan of mine and you live on Guam, come on by to EpicsCon. I would very much love to see you all there. And I'll be filming the event as well, so maybe you might be in one of my videos. So I just wanted to share with you guys all that information. Again, come check me out at EpicsCon, July 7th and 8th at the Aganya Shopping Center. And now, with all that said, let's get to the video. How's it going, buddies? My name is Tony the Black Canada Guy, and in honor of my favorite day of the year, Canada Day, oh Canada, I'll learn the lyrics someday. As a proud Canadian myself, bet you guys didn't know that, I felt obliged to make a list celebrating some of the greatest people to ever come out of one of the greatest countries in the world. And being that it is Top 10 month coming out on the greatest day of the year, I thought I'd present to you guys the first Top 10 list for Top 10 month, the Top 10 greatest Canadians of all time. And with all that said, let's get to the list. Kicking off my list in the most epic way possible is my number 10 choice, Hugh Jackman. One of, if not, the most celebrated Canadian actor of all time. Best known for portraying the most distinguished, iconic, and beloved Canadian figures of all time, a fierce man who's multi-layered and faceted and just such an interesting person. And you all know who I'm talking about. Jean Valjean, from the Canadian film Les Miserables, which I believe is Canadian for the greatest time of your life. And if you see the film, he's singing, he's dancing, he looks like he's having a good old time. But yes, he's one of the best Canadians out there. He has a beautiful singing voice, he looks handsome, he looks great, he has a good personality, he's kind-hearted, he fits all the bills to be a great Canadian. Although some people kind of question his accent because it doesn't really sound Canadian, but that's because he comes from a remote location that not a lot of people know about from Canada called, I believe, Australia, something like that. It's pronounced weird in Canadian, but it is somewhere near Newfoundland or something like that, but he's Canadian, I promise you guys. But yes, one of the greatest Canadians, very awesome, and I love him to death. Keeping it sexy at the number 9 spot is Justin Trudeau. Now, the reason he's so low on this list, I hate to put him so low, but the truth is that he's not really a true Canadian, as he was born in Brazil, so he gets a little points knocked off for that. But I mean, come on, look at this man. Look how beautiful this man looks. Not only that, but he is the greatest Prime Minister of all time. He's so progressive, he's so smart, he's charming, he makes me question my sexuality. I mean, that's all the makings of a great Canadian right there, and that's really all I need. Basically, he is the Trudeauiest Canadian of all time. I get it, because the word true and Trudeau, they begin with the same thing. Yeah, you guys love puns. Canadians love puns. Keeping the Justin train rolling at the number 8 spot is Justin Bieber, who is without question the greatest pop singer of all time. Better than Usher, better than Omarion, better than Prince, and most certainly better than the king of pop, Michael Jackson. I mean, could Michael Jackson sing the song Sorry? Come on. And not only that, his record is totally clean. Justin Bieber has never done a bad thing in his life. He's kept his record clean. He's a beloved figure. He would never spit on anybody or cuss people out or go drunk driving. No. He's the perfect example of what a good Canadian boy has to be. And he has such a beautiful smile. I mean, just look at this picture. Look how wholesome this picture looks. Nothing wrong about that picture. Keeping it fresh and in the hood, my nigga, at the number 7 spot is Drake. Now, there's this misconception that there aren't any black people in Canada. And to that I say, well, at least we have Drake. Number 6 is a name recognizable across the globe, and that, of course, is Gilbert Paul Jordan, a fine example of an upstanding, law-abiding Canadian citizen who never was in trouble with the law, was kind to everybody that he met, and never caused bodily harm or injury to anybody that he knew. Let's go ahead and look at all of his accomplishments, shall we? Okay, let's go ahead and look at this. Yeah, born in Canada, good start, good start. And, what? The boozing barber? Alcohol murders? Rape? Indecent assault? Car theft? Hit and run? Abductions? Oh my god. Cut it! Controlling the basketball world at the number 5 spot is LeBron James. I mean, come on, let's be honest. The moment that he swept the Toronto Raptors out of the NBA playoffs, he became an official Canadian citizen and now is the proud owner of the Toronto Raptors. So I say, welcome LeBron James. You are the greatest NBA player of all time, and there's no way you would get swept in the NBA finals. No, you're just too great. You're too amazing. You're better than Michael Jordan. You would never get swept by, let's say, I'm just gonna pick a team off the top of my head, Golden State. No, they can't measure up to you. You would never get swept. Not like the Toronto Raptors. Coming in at number 4 is the voice of Canada herself, Celine Dion. Now, she mentioned to let beauty come out of ashes. Well, I'm waiting for you to come out of the ashes, girl, because I need to see that beauty sometime soon, in this decade, maybe. You get me? Making me laugh my ass off, which causes me to fart at the number 3 spot, is Terrence and Phillip. Arguably the most celebrated and beloved Canadian comedy duo of all time. And their comedy is timeless. I mean, when you see Terrence fart on Phillip or Phillip fart on Terrence, I mean, it's comedic gold and it never gets old. It's funny all the time. And their classic song, Uncle Fucker, we play it on the radio on the daily. Before we go to work, we make sure that we listen to Uncle Fucker in repeat at least 50,000 times. Not only that, but they're the most accurate depiction of not only what Canadians act like, but also look and sound like, because we all have beady little eyes and flapping mouths. We all have annoying ass voices that make you want to cut your wrist or jump out of a window. I mean, that's exactly what Canadians are like, and I'm so glad that Trey Stone and Matt Parker, they totally nailed it with these characters. In fact, they're the best characters in South Park, in my personal opinion. I wish they were the main characters, but I applaud those guys for doing such a great job at representing Canadians correctly. Now, my number 2 choice may shock and surprise many of you, especially my fellow Canadians, but it's actually Donald Trump. Now, hear me out. I know many of you are going to say, wait a minute, Tony, wasn't he born in New York, so he's not Canadian? Well, it's time that I share with you guys a deep, dark truth that most Canadians do not want to share. It was actually revealed that Donald Trump was not born in New York City, but he was actually born on the border between Canada and the United States. That's why he has such a fixation on borders, because he's so lost in his own identity. He doesn't know whether he's American or Canadian. And in the diplomatic retreat of '68, we actually had a coin flip with the United States to see who would take Donald Trump. What type of citizen would he be? Would he be a Canadian citizen or would he be a US citizen? Of course, as Canadians, we chose tails because tails never fails. But unfortunately, it came up heads, so we ended up having to take Donald Trump into our loving hands. But you know, he seems like a decent man. You know, he doesn't seem like somebody that would sexually assault people. He doesn't seem like somebody that would spew out racist rhetoric or support racist ideology or racist people. And he seems like he could run a country. It doesn't seem like he's unqualified or unfit for any type of major office like President of the United States or Prime Minister of Canada. If he ran today as Prime Minister of Canada, you know, as much as I love Trudeau, as much as he's so sexy and fine and progressive, I would vote for Donald Trump. You know, he's just a great man. He's a great example of what a good Canadian is, and you know what? I accept you, buddy. But of course, no one comes quite close to my number 1 choice, the greatest Canadian of all time. And I don't want to hear any arguments about it. After this day, he will be forever known as the greatest Canadian of all time. And of course, that person is the sultry, sexy man known as Michael Bublé. I mean, what is there to say about Michael Bublé? I mean, he's just handsome, he has a beautiful singing voice, he's made so many great hits, like I Just Never Met You Yet, It's a Beautiful Day, Quando, 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 Save the Last Dance for Me. I mean, come on, he probably is the greatest pop singer of all time. I don't think I've ever made that statement for another person even on this list. He's the greatest pop singer of all time. I mean, just look at that beautiful face. But I think the greatest accomplishment he ever pulled off was disguising himself as a YouTuber who reviews movies on the channel Real School. I mean, if you look at these two, they're quite similar. I caught you, Bubble. You thought you could trick me, but I see through your disguise, trying to pretend to be a teacher working in Canada with a beautiful little boy and a wonderful wife. Aha, I caught you, man. Thought you could hide from me. But yes, as I said, Michael Bublé is the greatest Canadian of all time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my list of the top 10 greatest Canadians of all time. And I would love to know what you guys thought about my list. Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? Did you feel like I left any Canadians out? And do let me know who is your favorite Canadian of all time. Although, fair warning, if you don't put Michael Bublé on the list, I'm gonna have to delete your comment. I'm sorry. It has to be Michael Bublé or bust. If it's anybody else, that comment's gonna be deleted. And stay tuned, I got more videos coming your way. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And again, to all my fellow Canadians, happy Canada Day, the greatest day of the year. Now, if you'll excuse me, we're all gathering at the Times Square to drink some maple syrup, eat some poutine, and play some ice hockey. And as always, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Canada crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any awesome videos. And as always, I'm Tony Watt II, the proud Canadian, known as the Black Canada Guy. Till then, peace, buddy!
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, be true nor strong and free from